you know, one of the things that's funny is when I first got here, going to a team meeting, and all the offensive linemen, except for one guy, were sitting in one general area of the meeting room. And I'm making sure that they're all there, and I didn't have one there, so looked around the room and I asked some of the other guys, I said, where's such and such at? And they said, oh, he's up there, coach. And I went over and I got him. I said, come on, you're sitting back here with the rest of the guys. And that's one of the biggest things that I think is important from an offensive line standpoint, is because these guys have to rely on each other from a play-in and a play-out standpoint. You know, there are one-on-one battles that they have to win and all that stuff, but they have to be reliant on the man next to them. They've got to be able to understand sometimes before a guy even does something what he's going to do, and the relationships have to become that.
Gobble, gobble. I'm ready for it. I know it's not turkey yet, but I'm ready for it. No. No turkey for you.
And so off the field, you know, we're just always looking for ways to get those guys together. You know, one of the things was the bowling this summer. They did that a lot of times. They went to the beach together a few times. I've had them over to my house and had dinner and did some swimming together, and just trying to get them to kind of eat, breathe, and think football together is kind of important.
What did it take to earn this uniform?
Win the jersey, do your job.
More than you thought you had. The sacrifices, the extra mile, the love of the game. You had to be different to become a Bull. Why did you do it? For this moment, for this chance. This is our city. This is our time. What will it take to earn this uniform? Everything you have. We are BAYMADE. BAYMADE Inside USF Football is presented by Elder Ford of Tampa, home of the lifetime warranty. BAYMADE Inside USF Football is presented by the Florida Lottery. The Florida Lottery, over $30 billion and counting to education. Just imagine. By Hooters. Hooters, get your game on. The original wing joint since 1983. By Tampa General Hospital. Tampa General Hospital. Live fiercely. By TECO People's Gas. Brought to you by the energy-saving conservation programs of TECO People's Gas. And by UPS. Delivered by UPS, visit ups.com/solvers to find out more. Back home, where the friendly Bay breezes had brushed up against a week of good practices, the Bulls were ready to show they had learned a thing or two from their loss at Temple. Few football teams at any level ever have perfect seasons. The truly good ones are the ones that rebound from adversity. With the 22nd ranked Naval Academy in town, it was a perfect night for USF to host its Salute to Service game. The second straight Friday night, the Bulls were appearing on national TV. And why not? Both teams have legitimate goals of winning the American Athletic Conference Championship. It was a night to celebrate all the success that South Florida has had so far, and a night to come back from one of the few stumbling blocks.
Here's Flowers on a designed run. He splits it up the middle, and he's going to go into the 30, to the 20, to the 10. Hamstrings pretty good. 63 yards. Quinton Flowers, touchdown USF.
Any concerns about Flowers' cranky hamstring ended on the fourth play of the game. Navy, concerned about keeping pace with the Bulls' record-setting offense, went for it on 4th and 1 on their opening drive.
Worth settles in. They do snap it. They run left, and Worth is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. The Bulls defense holds. USF will have the football in Navy territory.
From their first steps on the field at the end of summer, the South Florida offense had people reaching for the record books. They've been putting up big numbers ever since, but no one could have expected the kind of record-setting first half they were about to unleash on the Naval Academy.
On the 23-yard line of Navy, 1st and 10. Handoff, running up the middle. Dearness breaks a tackle and goes into the end zone. Touchdown, USF. 23 yards, Dearness Johnson. Bulls up 2 scores early. Flowers in an empty backfield. 3 wide receivers to the wide side. Mack in motion. He gets the ball. Going to run left. Big hole. 25-30. Breaks a tackle. 35-40. It's a foot race. Mack getting the angle to the 20, to the 10. So long. 85 yards. Marlon Mack. The Bulls are up 3 scores.
It was an incredible first quarter that stunned Navy and electrified the Raymond James Stadium crowd.
2nd and 6, pistol formation. And they throw over the middle. Caught! Cato Dillon. Touchdown Bulls. The carnage continues. Wow.
A lot of pizza rolls were shared as the green and gold flew proudly. It was a perfect start for Coach Willie Taggart's bunch. Navy loved to run the ball with their triple option offense and had only thrown 64 passes all season. Now the Bulls had forced them to play from way behind. They did get on the board in the second quarter, but it proved to be a Band-Aid where a tourniquet was needed. USF just couldn't be stopped. In fact, they would score touchdowns on their first 6 possessions. Flowers threw the ball enough to keep the defense honest, but it was the infantry that frustrated Navy the most. USF would run for 279 yards in the first half. A tribute to the guys in the trenches who were getting the thankless jobs completed without any fireworks. They opened huge chunks of daylight to enable 5 different Bulls to get 6 first-half touchdowns. The Friday night party under the lights continued, and a lot of the drama of this one was gone already, perhaps even overshadowing a bit the significance of this USF team, coming off a tough road loss in their division to steamroll their way over a ranked opponent that had lost just 1 conference game in 2 years. The midshipmen, as always, fought hard, but the offense Willie Taggart and his staff have assembled had to amaze even themselves. The turnaround they have engineered has produced not only a successful team, but one that is pure fun to watch. Against Navy, they stacked up 464 yards in the first half alone.
Flowers shotgun, 12th play of this drive. Pump fake, throws long, Valdez-Scantling, caught! Touchdown Bulls! 6 possessions, 6 touchdowns.
Smiles had returned to the South Florida sideline. This was a bounce-back statement following the loss at Temple. The gaudy offensive numbers were electronic evidence on the scoreboard, but the defense may have proven even more. Creating turnovers has been an issue, but Ronnie Hoggins may have changed that. He returned from an injury with a big interception to stop one of Navy's last possessions of the half, sending the Bulls into the locker room with a comfortable 42-14 lead. Much of the picture remained the same in the second half. Quarterback Quinton Flowers was on his way to getting national attention with several awards, including National Performer of the Week. He's the leading quarterback rusher in the country. The Bulls would have 3 players rush for over 100 yards for the first time in school history. Flowers, Marlon Mack, and Dearness Johnson. Emilio Nadelman's 27-yarder made it 45-14, the Bulls' largest lead of the game. Maybe it looked a little too easy, but part of the reason the Bulls are where they are is their coaching staff looks for perfection at every turn. Willie Taggart expressed disappointment that Navy would score 5 second-half touchdowns, getting lots of yardage through the air. The lead was never really in jeopardy, but it was duly noted. Most important, they won for the 13th time in their last 17 games. They're now tied for the best record in the conference, and after 9 straight weeks of games, They have a much appreciated week off up ahead.
I know this football team, I love this football team, and I know what this football team is all about.
Hey, defensively, that was the first game we prepared for. Nigel kept saying it all night. Hey, look what happens when we prepare. Look what happens when we prepare. Don't let it stop there. Navy's a tough task. Guess what? Memphis is going to be a tough task. We've got to come back. We've got to be ready to play. Play with the chip on your shoulder. That's the first time we played with a chip on our shoulder all year. Hey, stay with it, defense. Hey, offense. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate it, baby.
SOUTHFLORIDA. Stop, look, go!
BAYMADE Inside USF Football is presented by Elder Ford of Tampa.
Jackson's going to take it all the way for the touchdown. Merlin at the end zone, touchdown USF. Flowers and Brophy in trouble. And again, deep downfield. Caught!
And this one is a touchdown.
The junior of Miami, Florida, number 9, Quinton Flowers. Attention fans, please direct your attention to the field. Here's the play line from Balloon Health Services.
I had a lot of losses in my life, but that only keep me going, you know. At the age of 7, I lost my dad. Was outside watching a Dolphins game. I was sitting in his lap. Like 10 seconds later, as soon as I get up and I get in the house to use the bathroom, I heard a gunshot. And I looked out the bathroom window. My dad was laying there on the floor, and I just noticed that I was just in his lap. Going into my senior year, I knew my mom was fighting cancer. I got to school, she was okay, and my sister called me, and she told me to come to the office. She told me to hurry up. I ran down to the office, and we just walked out to school. Once I walked out to school, she told me it's mom, and I was like, "What you mean it's mom?" She like, they said she only got a certain amount of time to live, and from there I just broke down crying. I couldn't stop crying. So I got there. My mom, she barely could see. She didn't know who I was. I told her who I was. I called Coach DeLa. She told Coach DeLa, you know, do whatever you can to get my son to college, you know, keep him going, keep him motivated, keep him focused, and that's what Coach DeLa did. And now I'm at the University of South Florida. And there was a time where I wasn't playing, I was frustrated, and I talked to Coach T, and I was like, what is that I'm doing? What I'm doing wrong to not play? He gave me a shot, and I started SMU game. And I told my brother, I was telling my family member and everybody that I was gonna start that game. And in my brother's voice, I heard that, like, he was crying, and I asked him what was wrong. And that was another family member I lost. I lost my brother my freshman year going into a SMU game.
Hey, man, listen up, man. Hey, don't worry about that right now. Don't worry about that right now. Play for each other. Yeah. Play for each other. Yeah. We brothers out here. Yeah. Hell yeah. That's the only thing we got out here. Hell yeah. Play for each other.
Honestly, how I get through it every day, you know, like, it's a couple of guys that I'm really close to on the team. Rodney Adams, one of them. Marlon Mack, another. You know, Deidre Nickel. A lot of the young guys I'm close to, too. Them guys just put their arms around me, you know, and keep me focused, you know, keep a smile on my face every day. That's why I'm here. I'm thankful. Thankful for everything that I do right now.
Yes, sir.
Hang with my boys.
These two guys right
All right, Juan?
Yes, sir.
All right. You know, it gets no better than this. Then when it comes game day, I feel like every day I go out there, I have to feed somebody in my family. And that's why I go out there and play my hardest, because I know, for one, my mom looking down on me. 2, I know she happy that I'm in college and I'm not in the streets. And 3, it's no better place to be than here.
The bubble screen, Quinton keeps. He's juking around. Nobody can find him. And now he finds the open field. Follows a blocker, gets to the 20, down the sideline to the 10. That is one of the great runs in USF football history. Touchdown USF. Quinton Flowers, 54 yards. And even that doesn't tell you the whole story.
BAYMADE Inside USF Football is presented by the Florida Lottery. The Florida Lottery, over $30 billion and counting to education. Just imagine. By Hooters. Hooters, get your game on. The original wing joint since 1983. By Tampa General Hospital. Tampa General Hospital. Live fiercely. USF Health. Making life better. BAYMADE Inside USF Football is brought to you by the Tampa Bay Times. Get your news when you're on the go. Download the Tampa Bay Times app at tampabay.com/apps.
Really excited the way our guys responded after last week. Came out and really executed.
Here's the first design run for Flowers. There he goes. One hamstring problem. Quinton Flowers will take it 63 for a touchdown.
It came out like the Bulls supposed to come out. You know, that's who we are, and our guys understand that. Whenever we do that, we play well. You know, and I said it early in the week. Our football team is still learning what it takes to be a champion. We don't know. We've never been a champion before. You know, and championship football teams, they come ready to play every single week, and that's tough to do for 12 weeks.
Straight up the gut, big burst, Dearness Johnson screaming in for a touchdown from 23 yards, his 5th of the year.
You know, it's a very important game. You know, they came in here ranked. You know, last week we had lost, so we wanted to bounce back. You know, and come out here and execute everything we did.
Flowers pump and go. Valdez Scantling is there, and for a second straight week, he's got a touchdown.
In the first half, we were rolling, preach-on, scoring points and scoring fast, and that's what we do, and that's what we're good at. So as long as we keep doing that, no one should be able to beat us.
It is. I mean, he's different. You know, he ain't just like most people. The kid he's like a video game, seriously.
Flowers runs away from that quad set, and a great job by Navy to at least get a touch on him. How did Quinton Flowers make that happen? An impressive second effort to get to the sticks, and it should be enough for a first down, and it is.
It was very fast. You know, that was my whole mindset this whole weekend. This whole week. To just execute. Every time I went to practice, execute every play. You know, at the end of the day, if you don't drive and score one time or get 3 points or something, Navy can go up with a blink of an eye. So at the end of the day, that's the only thing that was going through my mind all day, all game. Just score every time we get the ball.
Big-time competitor, you know, and he's going to do whatever he can to help his football team win, and our guys feed off of him. You know, the way he's playing, when he play well, everybody else usually play well with him.
Worth kept it, got drilled, and South Florida with a takeaway. It is their second leading tackler, Nigel Harris, the senior out of Tampa, with a stop.
Defensively, to get the stops that they did there in the first half was big, and it allowed us to get up in the ball game. And whenever you're playing a team like Navy, you want them to play from behind, and I think our game plan worked out pretty well for ourselves. We got up early and made them play from behind, and it helped, and we won the ball game.
It was huge. You know, everyone was doing their job. That's what you got to preach against the option team. They did their job, and we had a good result. You know, it gave us momentum. You know, offensively to come down there, and then once they scored, it gave us even more momentum defensively, and we just had a lot of energy, and it was good. It was good to see. It was good to have back, and that's what that's where we have to be. No, we came out with an awesome energy. You know, we stopped them on, I think, the first 3 drives, and that's big, especially playing against a team like Navy, who's so run-oriented, and they want to, you know, get up on you and then just keep eating you down and beating you down, and that's what they do. They're a physical ball team. So, you know, we came out with awesome energy. We didn't finish how we want to finish, and we'll get to that. If you want to be a championship team, you have to start fast and finish even faster.
To show our appreciation to them, I mean, that's what it's all about. You know, we couldn't do anything that we do nowadays if it weren't for our servicemen and servicewomen out there. I mean, for me to have kids and my family here and our players doing what we do, all that wouldn't happen without them. And it was great going out and recognizing some of our vets out on the field, standing there and just seeing and hearing the crowd behind that, it just, again, shows you how special it is and what they mean to all of us. And for us to be able to play this great game of football is because of what they did for us.
Don't miss out on seeing USF in their historic 20th anniversary season. On Saturday, November 26th, UCF.